and we are going to understand the difference between goods and services. What are the basic factors that we are going to see in terms of service marketing? Normally, if you are just going to give a lecture to the consumer saying about your product, so in the long run, when you are talking about the hospital factor altogether, emergency services forms the core part of a hospital. Good morning and welcome to the first revision class of Marketing Management, BCom 6th semester. In this session, we are going to look into the Unit 3 in detail and try to understand what are the different factors that are involving in marketing management. So let's quickly go into the session and try to understand the concepts clearly. Now, the introduction that we are going to look here is going to be on the factors of service marketing. So first of all, let us try to understand the concept of service marketing. We are going to see about the definition, what is service marketing all about. We are also going to see what are the concepts that are involved in service marketing, and we are going to understand the difference between goods and services. So the concept of service marketing itself is completely different from a product-based marketing. Why? Because moment I use the word service, we have to involve the word called as intangibility. So service marketing itself means it is intangible in nature. There will be 7 P's that are involved in service marketing. So we will be trying to understand each one of this factor in detail. Now, moving forward, what are the basic factors that we are going to see in terms of service marketing, and then we shall start getting into it one by one. The first characteristic, as I was talking about service marketing itself, is intangibility, which means to say that services can be experienced. It can be felt, but it cannot be seen or it cannot be touched, which means to say that it is not a physical attribute. It is an attribute that connects you to your mind. So that's why I say this is intangibility. The concept of service itself is to make the customer even more convenient, even more comforting altogether. So when we talk about the services marketing, the first thing that we want the customers to understand and experience is the factor that how good the service was. We are not just talking about a product. In the normal case, when you buy a product, now the product will speak for the customer. Like for example, when I buy a car, when I buy a toothpaste, when I buy a brush, when I buy a soap, or when I buy any kind of product, the product becomes my interface. I learn the company through the product. I get attached to the company because of the product. But in services marketing, I get attached because of the services that are provided. Now, car is a product. And when I go to the showroom to buy the car, the service that is being provided to me in terms of buying or selling or giving me the advices of which car to be bought, how to be bought, what are the finance options that are available, those are services. So I am more concerned about how good the service is. So that's where the word intangibility comes in. Intangibility means you cannot see it physically, you cannot touch it, but you can only experience it. So that's one of the major characteristics of services marketing. It's very, very important that we understand the concept of intangibility from the exam standpoint. The second thing, use of tangible products. Now, there are many use of tangible products even in services marketing. Now, whenever you go to the counter, you see persons, you see the products, you see the technology, those are being used in order to serve the consumer. So, there are tangible products there. Using tangible products, we are going to provide service marketing. Now, to give you a small example, when you go to Reliance retail shop or when you go to Croma or any of those kind of technology related showrooms, you will be able to see that apart from the products that are being kept there, there are service counters, there are people standing everywhere who are ready to wish the customer, take the customer to the appropriate product, talk about the product in detail, discuss about the pros and cons of the product, tell the customer whether it is good, whether it is suitable for you. So you are able to see that using those tangible products, he is able to convince the customer, he is able to tell the customer, he is able to provide him the service which makes him feel comfortable. So that's where the use of tangible products comes into picture. Now, moving forward, no stock maintenance. One of the most important characteristic of service marketing is that there is no need to maintain a stock. Now, physical stock is something that is always a burden for the company. Let's say that you are running a mobile showroom. Now, you have to keep the mobile phones in stock when the consumer comes to your shop. So all the mobile phones that you have bought from the company have to be kept as an inventory, has to be kept as a physical stock. Only when those mobile phones are going to be sold completely, you will not be able to get your revenue. But in case of services marketing, we do not have anything in physical. We do not have any stock that needs to be maintained. We do not have any ledger book that needs to be maintained. We do not have any physical products that need to be kept in a locker. All we have is a good attitude. We have a good belief. We have a good understanding about the consumer. We are ready to serve the consumer as and when it is required, and we understand each and every essential part that is required to make the consumer feel comfortable. So the entire concept of service marketing itself is more about getting to know about the consumer and exactly providing him what he or she needs. So that is where we are not concerned about the storage of goods. Services cannot be stored. Services cannot be delivered after some time. Services have to be instant. The concept of service marketing has to happen on the spot. It has to happen at that particular instance. Now, for example, when you are traveling in a plane, the service that is being provided by the cabin crew at that particular moment matters to you a lot rather than the advertisement about the airlines which you are going to read in a paper or in a magazine. For some time, you believe that services marketing is always instantaneous in nature. That's one of the most key characteristic factor that you need to understand. Whenever we talk about services marketing, it is something that has to be felt right at the moment. Then only people will appreciate that concept altogether. Now, moving forward, low price sensitivity. Services do not come with always high price. It has a low price sensitivity, which means to say that services can be made simpler, can be made accessible, and can be made easier for the consumer. Now, normally product always comes with the cost, and there are different types of product. If you take the mobile phone itself, you have phones starting from 10,000 rupees to even lakhs of rupees. So it depends on the consumer taste, choice and preference what kind of mobile phone he wants to buy. But if you look at the services, whether you want to buy a 10,000 rupees phone or a 10 lakh rupees phone, it all depends upon the nature of service that you have encountered at that particular showroom or in that shop. So moment when you walk inside, the way how you are being greeted, the way how you are being explained, the way how you are being told about the mobile phone matters a lot rather than the product. Now, for that particular activity or for that particular event to happen, it is not any cost that is involved. It is a nominal cost. But the amount, the results that are being pronounced because of a good customer service will go a long way in terms of appreciating you. So that is why service marketing will play a greater role in terms of understanding the consumer better than anything else. So that is why we always talk about this low price sensitivity. It is a very, very nominal cost. It does not involve any great complex factor. It is simple, it is deliverable, and it is instantaneous in nature. Moving on, the value creation process, the next step that we need to understand as a part of the service marketing. What does service actually create? It creates a value. It creates a long-lasting effect in the mind of the consumer. When you walk inside a restaurant, for example, there is a nice menu card that is being kept on your table. When you go through the menu card, you feel that this menu card is typically tailored for me. It is a tailor-made product for me. Why? Because the menu card itself is being made in such an impressive manner that it is being delivered to you, it is being kept to you for such a manner that you are getting completely impressed by the way it is being presented. Now, adding on, when you see the people, the staff who are working in the restaurant try to come to you, address you, and try to understand your requirements, automatically you create a value in the minds of the consumer. Those values are intangible. It is not the physical value, it is not just the monetary value, or it is not going to be any kind of the nominal materialistic things, but it is an intangible factor. It is a factor called as loyalty. It is a factor which can be only experienced. So moment you start providing good service to people, moment you start combining great values integrated and you start providing to people, a value creation starts getting over in the company as well as in the minds of the consumer. So every time when a consumer goes to that particular restaurant, goes to that particular place, he has a high regard, he has a high value for that place. That is because of the service that is being provided by the staff, that is because of the courteous service that is being given by all the members, that makes him really feel proud of that particular place. Now, moving forward, we also want to understand that the services is a combination of several human factors. Services marketing itself is a combination of human factors that deliver a lot of value. So services marketing at any point will not be comparable to the normal physical marketing. Moving forward, we are now going to talk about a very, very important concept, that is services marketing on tourism, that is the components of tourism marketing mix. There are 7 P's of marketing which I have told you in the beginning. These 7 P's are true for all services marketing. So let us try to understand each one of them individually and in detail. This question is very, very important for your exam. They will ask you what are the 7 P's of marketing, and this might be for a 20-mark question that can come for you in the exam. So please pay attention and please do write this question with a lot of examples so that you will be able to score better in the exam. Now let us try to go into the concept altogether. The first P that we are going to look here is called as product. Product is the most important concept that we are going to learn today. Basically, in the concept of marketing, the first and the foremost thing is the product. So when you talk to the consumer, when you talk to the world, what is that you have in your hand to talk about? Normally, if you are just going to give a lecture to the consumer saying about your product or about your company, he might not be interested. Product is that physical component that combines the attributes of it in terms of a package. So when I say the pen is the physical product that we are talking about, so the consumer is immediately able to connect himself with the product. Product is that physical attribute that can be seen. So automatically there will be a connectivity and the consumer will get interested in talking to you. So the physical product might be a pen, might be a toothbrush, might be a mobile phone, it might be a car, it might be a house, whatever is it, but the product is the first impression that gets set into the mind of the consumer. It is a physical package. The second one, price, the most sensitive information that the consumer always looks into in terms of marketing. When you go to a consumer and when you talk about a product, he immediately will ask you how much does it cost. At the end of the day, it is the price that really matters for the consumer, because the make or break, when I say the buy or a don't buy decision, is typically done by the price. So price is a very, very important component of marketing. If you are going to price the product at a very high level compared to the market, automatically consumers will not buy. If you are going to price the product extremely low when compared to the competitors, then the consumers will feel that this is not the right product. This is not a high quality product. That is why it has been sold so cheap. So what happens here is that price needs to be kept at a competitive level, at a balanced level, so that the consumer feels that this is the right kind of product for me. Price is the most sensitive factor that can trigger a consumer whether to make or to break, whether to buy or not to buy. So price is always something that needs to be transparent, that needs to be convincing, and that needs to be kept in front so that the consumer is able to understand it and take it forward. That is probably one of the reasons where I would also like to say here, whenever you visit Big Bazaar or whenever you visit More or any other retail formats, you will be able to see the price tag clearly written on the product or on the top of the shelf. That makes the consumer understand his range, his capacity, and whether he would be able to buy that product. So that's a first level attraction which I would say all about in marketing. The second thing after the price will come here is the place, the physical place. All of us, being human beings, always like to move from one place to another place. We do not want to remain fixed forever. So place makes a great amount of decision, great amount of impact in marketing. When you talk about the place, where are you located? Where is your company located? Where is your shop located? Where is your showroom located? That makes a difference in the minds of the consumer. When you are located in the heart of the city, right in the middle of a business district, that means it is very, very accessible and it is easier for people to reach you. A lot of crowd will come to you. So place will make the consumer get attractive. Now, moment your place is far away from a city or it is situated on a remote location altogether, consumer might not be interested because he might find it difficult to come all the way from the city to that particular location. So location needs to be kept in mind as a central part of the decision making, because if your decision in terms of taking a place and keeping it in a particular order is kept correct, then automatically half of the marketing is done. The location plays a very, very great role in attracting people and getting more customers altogether. So the concept of place plays a very, very pivotal role in terms of marketing. Next comes promotion. Now, how do you promote yourself? How do you market yourself? Most of the products in our country are typically ones where people look for the celebrity, people look for the promotion altogether. Who is the person who's promoting it? Which company is promoting it? Under what brand they are promoting it? Under what name? What tag? What color? So promotion is something that is called as the lifeline of the product. If you're not going to talk about the product, if you're not going to bring an advertisement about the product, if you're not going to tell about the product to the people, then promotion does not happen at all. You need to go and tell about the product. You need to talk about your product through different channels, through different mode to the consumers and make them understand and make them feel your presence altogether. This is the product, this is the color, this is the nature of the product, this is the tagline, this is how the product looks. You need to make them feel and touch about your product. You need to get the product right into the minds of the consumer, and the only way of doing it is through promotion. You need to promote, you need to tell them we are here, this is the best product that we have, and this is how we need to promote it. So that is how the concept of promotion is very, very important when it comes to marketing. Next, we are also going to talk about people. Now, after these 4 P's are over, we are moving to the 5th P, and from here it moves into the service marketing area altogether. So the remaining 3 P's, that is people, process and physical evidence, are a part of your services marketing. Now let's talk about people. People make a very great importance in terms of marketing presence. Who are the people? The staff, the people who are working in your organization directly, indirectly, how they are trained, how they know about the customers, what kind of interaction do they have with the customers. Are they in the forefront? Are they in the back end? So people will make a difference in terms of services marketing. The more they are trained, the more they are able to handle the pressure, the more they are able to handle the queries of the customer, people will make a great difference to the organization. So when you talk about marketing, people are the most important factor when we start getting into the services side. It is because when a human being interacts with another human being, there is a lot of connectivity that gets established. There might be a product, there might be a price, there might be a good promotion and place, but people want to see people. People want to see you. People want you to talk about it. People want to get emotionally attached. There needs to be a connection that needs to be created, and then people are interested in buying that product. So that's where the concept of training, the concept of well-maintained staff, the concept of well-informed people will make a difference to the services marketing. Especially, I would like to give an example of tourism here. Why? Because when you go to any of the tourist place, you expect the staff and the members to be courteous enough to provide you information time on time so that you are able to know about the place, so that you are able to understand better about the place. So every time there is the need of people to come forward and serve the customers. If that happens on a timely basis, if they are able to take care properly, that is 50% of the job already done. So that is why I would always say that the concept of people is highly important. Next, when I move to the word called as process. Process is something what I would like to use the word as system, which means there is particular methodology in which you do it. Now, if the process that is involved in tourism or in any other service industry is not in the right manner, is not being built with the right concept, then the entire system collapses. So that is why process plays a very, very important role altogether. Let us take an example of tourism here itself. What is the process which you want to involve in tourism? Right from providing the information about the place, how to get there, what is the best kind of food that is available, the climatic conditions, the living conditions, how is going to be your travel plan, what are the places that you are going to visit. All the factors are a process based. So right from the arrival to the exit of the customer, there needs to be a process. There needs to be a system which can be kept in place so that the customer feels that he is in the right hands. So process is something that is more in terms of planning, that is more in terms of keeping the system under a balanced condition so that every time when a customer walks in through, he feels that this company is systematic in nature. They'll definitely be able to handle my query. There is a place, there is a point where I can get my queries resolved. Process is more from a calculative perspective, but yes, it works a lot when it comes to services marketing, because that is the point, that is the turning point which I would like to say, which makes you feel the factor that yes, this company is trustworthy, this company is really taking care of me. Now, moving forward, we also have something called as physical evidence. Now, what is a physical evidence? For anything and everything in marketing, the most important thing is touch. If you are not able to touch and feel something, then marketing is not there. But in the concept of services, we are going to go away from it. Why? Because in the absence of physical evidence, in the absence of that physical touch, what can make you get attracted? Now, let me give you a simple example here. If I'm going to talk about Switzerland without making you go to Switzerland, then that means I need to convince each one of you by my speech. I need to get to the level where I provide you a service, where I provide you a level of talk through which your mind gets completely immersed into Switzerland. So, physical evidence, without getting the place, without getting the physical components all together, making the customer believe is what I talk about physical evidence. Now, physical evidence is true when it comes to the normal marketing because there is product, price, promotion and everything. But in case of service marketing, we don't have a physical evidence. We only have the service blueprint that makes the physical evidence altogether. Now, we also need to understand services marketing mix in hospitals. Now, hospitals form a very, very important area altogether. They are the lifeline, they are the lifesavers of our people. When you go to a hospital, God forbidden, let us not go there, but then just to understand the concept, when you go inside a hospital, the concept of hospital is different from hospitality. Let's try to understand the difference here very clearly. Hospitality is a general service, but then hospital is on a medical service. It's on an emergency basis. So when you talk about the hospital factor altogether, it is directly concerned about your life. It is directly concerned about your healthcare. Apart from all the 7 P's that we have discussed in this session, hospital marketing is more about understanding the emergency, understanding the right care, that is the health point of view that needs to be addressed towards that patient. Now, for example, if a surgery has to be performed, or if some scan has to be done, or if some particular medical assistance has to be given, it has to be put in a right way to the customer, to that patient in such a manner that he does not get frightened. At the same time, he is able to understand what needs to be done. So in hospitals, what we typically try to do here is that we try to understand the patient from his requirement standpoint. Hospitals do not have anything in particular. Now, hospitals cannot say that we are the only people in the world who can cure this disease, or we are the only hospital that has this facility. Every hospital will try to have a similar kind of facility or a similar kind of service. But then a hospital, let us say a hospital name A is better than B because that particular hospital might have a better customer service, will have a better understanding towards the patients. So when I go to that particular hospital, I mentally believe, I have a psychological factor that makes me believe the doctors, the nurse and the staff will take care of me properly. They are genuine. They are trying to address my need. They are trying to understand my pain, and then they are able to cure me. So when it comes to the servicing mix in that of hospitals, it is the same 7 P's that we are going to talk about with the factor called as the emergency services. So in the long run, when you are talking about the hospital factor altogether, it is even more critical and it is even more important the way how you address your patient who come in search of your services. Moving forward. Now, in the hospital marketing, we are going to see some of these services: emergency, diagnostic, casualty, pharmacy, and ambulance. Let's try to understand each one of them, at least from the conceptual standpoint. The first one that we are going to see here is known as the emergency services. As I told you, 90% of the time people go to the hospital only on emergency. If it's going to be a normal cough or a cold or any other kind, we don't land up in a hospital. We just go to a doctor and we take some medication. But in case of situation which cannot be cured by a normal doctor, we rush to the hospital. So hospital is always on the last moment. It is on an emergency service. It needs to have facility that can handle that stress, that can handle the pressure, and that can take up the patient's query. So emergency services forms the core part of a hospital. They need to have it 24/7 at the best level with the highest quality rating. Next one, diagnostic services. Moment we go to a hospital, we are being diagnosed using several equipments and data so that we are able to come out in a better form. The main aim of diagnostic services is to understand the patient better. Now, when you go to a hospital and when you are being made to go through a scan or any other kind of medical facility that you need to go through, the aim here is to understand you better. So you need to have all the facilities as a hospital that can address the need of a patient. When a doctor refers a patient to a particular hospital saying that you need to undergo this kind of scan or you need to undergo this kind of diagnosis, he does it because he knows that that hospital has got all the facilities in place. So diagnostic services is kind of inbuilt infrastructure that the hospital needs to have in place so that whenever the patient comes to the center, he does not go disheartened. He has all the things in place. He can take the diagnostic and move forward. Next one, casualty services. Many a kind of time there might be casualties that happens because of an accident, that happens because of a mishap, all kind of things. So in hospital, casualty services forms the third most factor or a core factor altogether. In case of any of these kind of untoward incidents happening, the casualty services comes in front. They need to look forward, they need to have all the facility, they need to have an outdoor patient unit that can serve them at any given point of time. Next, the pharmacy services. So when you walk out of the hospital, the kind of drugs that are being prescribed by your doctor, the medicines that you need to take should be available 24/7. So when you talk about pharmacy, it should be well equipped, it should have all the medicines that are being prescribed by the doctor, and it should be available 24/7. That's where a patient will get a complete belief and trust that when I go to the hospital, I have the doctor, I have the diagnostic, plus I have the medicines to get myself cured. So pharmacy is a very, very important part. At any given point of time, it should be available. The another important factor that we need to understand here is the ambulance services that forms a very, very important part in hospital marketing today. We know in our country that many a times there are emergencies and you need ambulance to come and take over. So a hospital needs to be equipped with ambulance at any given point of time so that they are able to take care of the emergency and they are able to take the patient back to the hospital, so whatever medical care that is needed. Now let's move forward and try to understand the different components that are there in hospital. As I have told you, they have the same factor of services marketing, the 7 P's coming forward, like product, price, place, promotion, people, processes, and physical evidence. But the only difference, when you write it in your examination, you need to understand that when you are talking about hospital, so the product, price, place, promotion, people, and process, every single thing needs to be written in concern to the hospital, with keeping hospital in mind. It should not be written just like that. It should not be written just like a general theory. What you need to do here is that when you write this question, you please write it with regard to that of a hospital. Now, for example, the product in a hospital is not there because hospitals are more service oriented. You could probably talk about the factors like the medical facilities and all those things that are being used. in when you're talking about the pricing factors, the price that is being charged for different services, the place where it needs to be located, the kind of promotion that hospital does for healthcare, the kind of people that doctor, nurse, staff, you can write about them. When it comes to processes, what kind of benchmark practices they follow in order to keep the medical assistance, and the physical evidence, that is the technology, the diagnostics, and all those factors that can be probably talked about when it comes to hospital marketing. Now, moving forward, we also need to understand something here in terms of your tourism marketing mix. Now, tourism itself is such a wonderful thing. Moment you look into the slide itself, it is so interesting to see planes, places, people, and all kind of factors. But tourism is a very, very sensitive, and it involves a lot of planning when it comes to marketing. So tourism is not going to be that easy when we are going to talk about. Now, moving forward, let's try to understand that in tourism and in hospital, it is about the target market that we are really concerned. Why? Because tourism and any of those factors are highly concerned about whom are you trying to address, who is your target audience, who are the people whom we are looking about. It is not going to be an ordinary marketing or an ordinary scenario altogether. Why? Because if you're not concentrating at the right kind of people, people who actually want your service, people who actually want your need, then you are not going to fail miserably as a marketer. So even in the examination, I want you to pay attention to the factor called as target market, the right kind of people whom you need to target. So I would always use the word as the right audience. That is what we need to keep in mind. The target market, you have to keep this word in your mind, because if you're not able to focus correctly on the target market, and if you're just generally going to provide your services or generally going to market, then automatically the marketing might become a failure. So we need to understand the target market and develop a marketing plan, develop a services blueprint according to that. So that's where this target market becomes a very, very important factor altogether. Now, moving forward, on the conclusion side, I would just like to talk about contribution in terms of revenue. Yes, services marketing contributes a lot when it comes to revenue. The people process orientation, that's also what we have been seeing, and the emerging sector of India. Now let's try to understand these three factors very, very clearly. The highest contribution today in Indian economy is definitely the services side. 45% of our GDP comes from the services marketing, various forms of services. It might be about this tourism, it might be about healthcare, it might be in education, so many factors that actually contribute to revenue. So this is where I would say that services marketing forms a very big part in terms of contributing towards the revenue. It is a primary generator of income for many people in India. So that's why I would always say that it is a very big contributor. It gives a lot of money. Rather than just involving yourself in physical marketing, rather than just talking about the product or any kind of attributes, the services has got a better hold altogether. Now, if you look at events, when you look at any kinds of tourisms or any marketing that is happening, that involves a greater amount of sales and revenue rather than just the physical marketing. And this is a people and process oriented. Moment I use the word people and process oriented factor altogether, that means it is even more structured, it is even more well built, and it has got more approach towards the consumer. It is man-to-man marketing. It is typically, when I talk about this people factor, they understand each and every need of the consumer. They understand every single factor that is involved, and that's how it is more process oriented also. Every single step that is being taken up in terms of marketing, in terms of doing, is process oriented. It is well built, it is well structured, and there are a lot of factors that are inbuilt inside it. and it is the most emerging sector of the era. Definitely after 1991, the one contributing sector that is really coming up in India across the global area is called as services marketing. Wherever you go, you will find that services marketing is trying to dominate the landscape by bringing in different varieties, different ideas and innovations all together. Just to give you a simple example, take our own coffee day itself as an example. There was a time when people used to go and just have a cup of coffee. There was nothing great about having a cup of coffee. But today, Coffee Day was able to redefine the experience of you having a coffee. Though it might be pricey, though it might have a different attribute altogether, but the ambience, the way the coffee is being served, the way it has been put together before the consumer itself makes it very innovative altogether. So that is where I would say this, the concept of service marketing, the concept of putting things into the mind of consumer, the way how things are going to be presented itself makes services marketing the most emerging and the most successful sector altogether. So that's why services marketing chapter is very important for us to understand and to learn from an exam standpoint, also from a conceptual standpoint. With this, I come to the end of the session. I hope and believe that you have understood the concepts of services marketing. In the next section, we will be talking about the Unit 4 also. But in this, I believe that all the sectors, all the factors are being covered, and you need to understand in the examination when you write it, please write with examples, please elaborate your answers, and please write it with the necessary relevant examples altogether. With this, I conclude my session. Thank you once again for joining me today.